Good afternoon and welcome to This is Private Practice for Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday the 15th of January, where it is stinking hot o'clock. When I was out in my car about 15 minutes ago at 4:30 in the afternoon, it was registering the temperature at being 43 degrees Celsius. So I'm not sure if anybody's going to be turning up today because you might be all melted like little puddles. Hey, Linda. Hey, Amber. Amber Hawley, you've just announced some amazing news about a relocation. That's pretty cool and lots of change. Cool, significant. Whoa, was kind of the reaction that I had there. Been an interesting day for me today. I've had to be business manager and CEO. I've done some coaching, quite a lot of that. I have had some incredible results with two of my coaching clients today. They made me smile so big, so big. One of the core things I help my coaching clients do is really refine their message so they can clearly and confidently be able to say who they are, who they serve, and why they're put on this planet. And I heard Frances Harvey roll her why out of her mouth today, and Carol Rose Atkinson, and it just filled me with such joy. There may have been a few tears in my eyes getting them to that point because it was just a beautiful thing. I have also created my workbook for people who are coming to Kauai and are going to attend my workshop. So I've got that done. I'm feeling really good about that. That's going to be an amazing workshop. That 90 minutes is going to revolutionize people's lives. That is going to be pretty darn cool. That I'm just saying, it's not private practice development. It's not clinical skills. It's getting stuck inside of you and working out what's stopping you from being able to make good decisions moving forward. That's pretty cool. And then I've just been to see a young man who gets to live with a brain injury, and we've been teaching him how to apply for jobs, and he's just blitzed a mock interview. I'm so impressed with him. He just blitzed it. So no, he didn't. He's not the most vibrant, vivacious, outgoing person, but he held his own and he's listened to advice, and we've worked out a way for him to make responses to questions in interview that are still in character for him, not trying to make him be someone else or act in a different way. I was just really impressed. So it's been and then I got to run errands, because that's what you want to do when it is stinking degrees outside. You want to run errands. But I saw a question today, and on another part of the interwebs, where somebody was asking when is the right time to hire an assistant, and then I flicked over to something else and saw when is the right time to bring on an associate, and should I have an associate or should I have a employee? And that question, there's so many factors and variables in that question. So I just want to bring it back and help you understand how I think about these, answering these questions. So generally, if you're asking the question, when is the right time to hire, the time is now. Because if you're seeing a need that can be fulfilled by someone who isn't yourself, then the time is now. Speaking to Frances Harvey, who is an online business manager, she gave me the insight today is that most people who contact her are waiting at least 6 months too long. You go from a place of being empowered and feeling in control of your workload, and feeling like a sense of growth and connection to the work you're doing, thinking that you can do it all, be all things to all people, continue to do it all, not worry, being fearful of spending the money or not having the energy at the end of the day to figure out what is the next step for you. So she says what tends to happen is then people wait too long, and then they become completely overwhelmed, completely cash strapped, don't know which way's up, and quite often they're starting to become unwell or thinking about leaving the profession. So if you think you need assistance in your business or in your practice, chances are you do. A lot of people like to respond that the way you work out when you can hire someone is when you can afford them, which is, to be honest, wrong. That is bad advice. Yes, you need to be able to pay somebody for the work they're going to do. That's wise. But I can assure you that I knew I had work coming in, hadn't executed the work yet, but I had already appointed my first bookkeeper. My bookkeeper was the first assistant I ever had in my business. I've told this story many, many times. I had a bookkeeper and very quickly followed by an in-room assistant, followed very quickly by an associate. That's not because I was growing so fast. That was just because I could not keep up with what was going on. And secondly, I was terrified of doing the bookkeeping wrong, so I wanted to make sure somebody did it right. So if you are setting yourself up and you know that you've got work coming in, you know that you've got money coming in, then you can actually reverse engineer what is it that I need somebody to be helping me with. Asking, can I afford it, is the wrong question, because the lack of affording it right now means that you're going to be paying in lack of sleep, lack of energy, lack of relationship, lack of enthusiasm, lack of presence in front of your clients, which will affect your ability to market, to create sales, to engage with people on social media, to update your website. So you're either going to pay for it at the front end or you're going to pay for it at the back end. Either way, you're going to be paying for it. So you've always got to be thinking about what is your goal of bringing on another person into your business. Is it to take some weight off you, which is always my goal? Is it because somebody can do the job better than you? Always my goal. My clinicians, they have all been brought onto the team because they offer something that I can't. Oh, Jill, that's a beautiful statement. The keeping up is super important and the removal of is incredibly freeing. Jill Johnson Young has written a lot of books. Jill's been able to write a lot of books because we were able to take a lot of weight and pressure and details off her in the running of Central Counselling Services. People often ask me, how is it that I get so much done? How can I essentially run 2, 3, 4 different types of income streams? Well, number one, I got a lot of energy, which is hilarious given that I don't feel like I have a lot of energy. But number two, I get the right support at the right time. I don't have the money in the bank first. So, and this is this entrepreneurial think that we've got to get used to. If you continue to wait until the money's in the bank, the money will be gone because there will always be another expense and another thing that you've got to plan for. Now, I am not suggesting that you go and hire people that you can't afford to pay. Don't do that. Bad. Really bad, awful, makes you sick, stop you from sleeping, gives you a really bad reputation. Don't be doing that. What I am saying is if you are asking the question, is it time for me to get assistance in my business? The time is now. The challenge for you is to work out what assistance do you want, when do you want it, and who is going to be the best person to help you with that assistance. That question comes back to what is your goal for bringing on this assistance? What is your goal? Is your goal to increase revenue? Well, then you're going to want to bring on an associate who can do work that you're not going to do. Is your goal to get to do more work that you love and give the tasks that you don't love so much to somebody else to free you up to be able to do that? There's always got to be a goal. You have to start with the goal in mind. Thank you, Mr. Covey, for giving us that incredible advice as many years ago as what you did. If you're looking at adding clinicians to your team, I've often had quite a lot of people ask me, well, when do I get ready for the next growth? When do I get ready for the next growth? And again, I see a lot of really poor advice that says, when you're full, bring on your next person. No. When you are somewhere between 75 and 80% full, then you bring on your next person. We have this law, I don't know what it is, but this is what happens. If you fill yourself up and there is no more room because everybody and you are full, you will actually go unfull before you grow. It's kind of like we bounce around at our level, at our ceiling, which is a John Maxwell thought, like the stock market. It goes up and it goes down. It's the same thing happens with our capacity. So you actually need to build the momentum for change. You also don't want to be completely full yourself and then add in an extra thing like recruiting another associate, because I can assure you to do a recruitment well takes a hell of a lot of energy. Oh, Jill, that is so important. Not only do you need to get the right person in doing the right task at the right time, you need to make sure that you know that they're doing what it is that you've asked them to do, which means you need to know what it is you want them to do. Again, comes back to this: what is your goal? Is the goal to bring you more revenue? Is that going to happen because you've brought an associate on? Is the goal to bring in more revenue because it means you're going to be in front of more people, or you're going to be speaking more, or you're going to be creating and selling more products and services? Then get a different types of assistant to help you with the assistance you need in your practice. Bit of a how-to today. Wanted to make sure that it was jam-packed with really good, useful information. My filter may not be working as well, so if I've said something completely inappropriate and offended people today, I apologize for that. I blame the fact that it's a gazillion degrees outside, and I saw a picture today that it's snowing in Southern California. That's just totally messed with my head. I did not think that was possible. All righty, Jill, thank you so much for your additions to this today. This has been really, really great. I appreciate the conversations. I am looking forward to talking to you probably Thursday. I think tomorrow I need to be out and about and getting some extra things done, and I just don't want to feel the pressure of not being on my Facebook Live. So wishing you all a good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I know a lot of you watch this when you wake up tomorrow. Hope you're doing really well. Let's go be our fabulous, awesome selves.